and welcome back to the Real Sisters Real Estate Podcast. This is Christy Curtis, and I'm with Berkshire Hathaway, the Bob and Rana Group, and I'm here with Jules, like always. How's it going, Jules?
Things are going really good. And I am with Jackson Hole Sotheby's International Realty. Yeah, things are going really, really good. Been like slammed, just absolutely slammed, busy, worked all weekend. Oh, sorry, kicking shit. Worked all weekend. Um, yeah, very, very productive. Things are really looking up. I know I had some buyers come back to me because the Fed rate came down, which is it's just great news. So, yeah, going good. How's it going over there?
Same, busy, busy. I got two people under contract this past weekend myself. So yeah, busy, busy. The rate cut is hopefully just going to increase that, and then hopefully bring some new listings to the table. I had quite a few listing appointments last week, so I was actually doing my follow up calls this morning just to see what they are thinking, and then I got one more so far. So yeah, busy, busy as well, which is a good place to be right now. I said before I wanted my fourth quarter to be pretty darn strong. So hopefully we'll slide in there with buku bucks. I got a lot of trips next year, so I need to finance them.
Yeah, we were speaking of trips, Marcus and I were trying to sneak in a trip to Hawaii. We like to go to Hawaii in November. It's their off season there. But we've decided that it's more responsible of us to finish remodeling our bathrooms. So,
Yeah, well,
I mean, maybe if I can get a few more things under contract, and to the point where I'm actually feel confident that they're going to close, um, maybe still try to sneak it in. But I'll be ordering bathtubs
right.
instead.
Lame. Not as good as Hawaii, but yeah, I understand. We had to make the tough decision earlier this year and be responsible and cancel a pretty highfalutin cruise. So we get it. You have to sometimes you have to just gotta be grown ups about shit. Annoying.
It's so annoying. I want to just go to Hawaii. We were totally just going to ditch the kids and go with
Yeah,
just
as you should.
exactly, just go us two. We've done it a couple we I guess it's been about every other year, but we've done it a couple times and it's just the best. So, the kids are happy. So now we're like, well, maybe we'll think about it for spring break if if we have a strong Q4. So stay tuned. Maybe going to Hawaii with the
Stay
kids.
ugh, lame. We ditched the kids for our Greece trip next year. We originally told them they could go, and then we said, "What are we thinking? No, we're going by ourselves." Sorry, kids. They'll be grown ups by then. They'll both be 21 years old. You know, and by kids I mean Maria is one of mine too. So
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
yeah.
Um. Well,
All
should
right.
we just drive on into our market updates? What do you got for us? What's happening over in Bmore?
Same old, same old. Current days on market is 1 day longer, so 23 days. Active units was literally changed by like 4 units. So I just put the same. Pending was up 1.7 and then closed last week in comparison year over year is still down slightly. So nothing new on that side. So I'm happy with all that. That's fine. I'm fine with steady Eddie.
Yeah, I
What do
would.
you got?
Yeah, I think we're in the same boat. Pretty steady from what we've been seeing the past couple weeks. Slight change, just 1 day of a days on market for our residential. Same with our building sites. We're at 202. 1603 for our active listing. So holding steady there. 41 new, 37 went pending, and 27 sold. I did notice that our sold volume is down. So units is actually down 47% from this exact week last year, which is pretty big.
Mm,
On the
yeah,
yeah, I mean, it's big, and, it could just be this year that a huge sale came through. It's hard when you're pulling week to week data comparison over, let's as opposed to, like, month to month. So it coulda just had, like, a huge sale
right.
come through last year, this week last year. But our inventory, and this number has been holding steady. We're 28 percent increase of volume. I have been noticing that pretty steadily week over week. So good trend there. Continues to be a good time for buyers here. We are still in an even market. Like I said, that rate cut, I had some buyers come back and say, oh my God, that rate cut put us in an extra $50,000 that they could afford. So,
Nice.
and we were able to get them under contract and get them into something that is much, much nicer than what we had been looking into. So, eh, hopefully, this trend continues. I would love to see this trend continue. There is always that worry that if the buyer market comes back super strong, it would eat up that inventory that we are seeing that slight bump. But for right now, I think we are in a very, very good spot for buyers here in our market.
That's great. I mean, good for them and finally being able to, afford something that is a little bit nicer and it's, they're not just paying a bunch of money, just basically all going to the bank. So that's good. That's great.
Yeah. So speaking of national trends, what
Well,
do we got?
so the interest rate right now is for a 30-year fixed conventional is just above 6% is what I'm seeing. I know that my lenders are still saying buy it down a point, which
Hmm.
would put you in the fives, which is pretty nice. But like I was just at a new construction and they were talking about buying it down, and how much it will really help and, running all the numbers. So they're really digging into is it worth it to buy it down right now because it is pretty low. And if you have great credit, that's going to be a little bit lower anyway. Um, these particular buyers were VA. And then as far as news from the big dog, I was watching the news this morning. I'm gonna go ahead and jump on in. Is that okay?
Go
You got
for it.
anything to add?
Nope.
Okay. I was watching the news this morning and then it made me dig around a little bit. So I ended up going on to Fox Business and it was Open House. The name of the show is Open House Unlocking the American Dream. And I thought this was interesting and just kind of a bright spot in our market where a lot of times people are like doomsday people. The market's going to crash. That's all we ever hear.
Hmm.
It says wealthy people are still purchasing large assets, borrowing against them to be liquid, but keeping the asset. So, for example, the home next to Jeff Bezos sold for 27.5 million. They borrowed against it for 32 million. And then they were able to invest that money in different areas, but still keep the asset. And they said on a small scale, not everyone has 27 million to purchase. You can break it, you can borrow against a stock portfolio, get the money, buy a rental property, and start building your equity that way. So I thought that was just a good thing. And they were saying if the wealthy people are purchasing these large assets, but keeping them because they think that it will still appreciate, then that's a good sign that the market is, we're going to be fine. It's not a problem. And then from there, I kind of like did a deeper dive. We're in an election year. Like, what are the solutions that are coming up from, because each candidate has ideas and it's great that it's actually being talked about the housing market. So for Kamala Harris, she wants $25,000 to go to first generation homeowners. So it's geared towards minorities. But it creates more demand on an already stretched economy. And it could also cause another crisis, meaning we're giving people money that can't actually afford the loan. So good things and bad things. And then for Trump, it was creating opportunity zones. So he's going to try to cut red tape for new construction to speed it up. And then in those opportunity zones, give a tax break to buyers so that they can still get approved for the loan, but it's not as, I guess, just get tax breaks, so it's easier to um, purchase. So just different ways to think about it, and what everyone is bringing to the table. Again, whatever one you decide is best for you is, works best for you and your family. But I do think it's great that on a national level, people are talking about this, because the American dream is to own a home, and a lot of folks feel like they can't right now. So it's good that there's um, conversations about solutions. So just wanted to bring that up. All right. Do you want to get into our what would you do?
Yeah. Do you have something for us?
Yeah. So this isn't as much funny as it is gross. It'll probably make your skin crawl a little bit.
Oh
Just a
no.
little bit. Okay.
Is it bugs?
I know.
It is.
No bugs, no bugs.
No
Just it's no bugs. I swear. No bugs. Um I had a house listed where the owner, an older man, constantly chewed tobacco. He would
bugs.
spit it all over his bedroom. So there were literally tobacco splots all over the walls. I had to use a pin to turn on the light so I didn't have to touch the switches. If that wasn't bad enough, he had a leak in the kitchen, but because he was selling, decided he didn't care to fix it. Buyers that were coming through were stepping through the water of the flooded kitchen and avoiding touching the walls. We still had multiple offers on that house.
No way. Oh my god.
Right? I know. It has a cheerful spin at the end. I know I've been into some houses, and you don't want to touch anything, and it's so gross. Um,
Mhm.
so yeah. Uh, I don't understand why you just spit on your walls, though. I don't get it.
Who does that? Who lives like that? I mean, why would you want to live that way with spitty walls and leaky faucets? Like that guy had to live in the house until it was sold, regardless of I don't want to fix
Yeah.
it just because I'm selling it, which is also ridiculous. If you are a seller, don't do that.
Yeah, fix the stuff.
Yeah.
You can do yourself a favor. But at what point in your life are you walking in your bedroom with a lip and then just spit on the wall? Like, I couldn't find my Solo cup, so I just spit on the wall, and then that just became regular habit.
Ugh, that is real gross. I would have been happier with bugs.
Right? Exactly. Bugs are at least natural. Chewing tobacco spit, oof, I can't imagine the smell. Just horrible,
Ew.
horrible.
Ew. Well,
Yeah.
good for
Ew.
her for moving that inventory. Being a real estate agent is hard.
Yes, it is. People
Ugh,
think it's not, and it really, really is.
right. All right. Well, should we pop into our $1,000,000 listing episode? What did we watch? Season 15, episode 4, Know When to Walk Away. Um, let's start with Flag and his Castle Street or Road, whatever that is, his appointment with the older gentleman who turns out to be quite the kind of asshole.
Yeah, definitely. The D personality. So he wants what he wants. He knows exactly where he wants to list a house. And Flag is exactly right when he said, where should we list it? And he says, why were you even asking? You already told me where you want it. And you just got to roll with it. And he knows it's 3 million is what he said, 3 million over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something
And
like
then,
that.
yeah, then yeah. And then he gets a lovely email from him.
What a jackass. So seriously,
Right.
I mean, we say it all the time. We know nobody listens to the realtor, but listen to the realtor. But even better, listen to the market. The market is not going to lie. I love grandma let him sweat it out. I thought that was so funny, and grandma is so right with those kind of people. You're not going to talk into a number. Let them sweat it out. Let the market dictate, and the market's telling them. And he was right. I loved his
Mhm.
response, like, "Oh, it's just a bait and switch, you know, if all of these brokers thought it was underpriced, why aren't they bringing me buyers?" Super answer.
Exactly, and 100% spot on. He responded with an "I don't give a fuck" attitude, which I love. We don't all have that luxury, but I love the fact that he just put him right in his place and was like, "No," but then he also followed up with, "You never walk away from a listing."
No, you
And the producer or whatever was like, "Why don't you walk away?" And he was like, "Why would I walk away from money?" You know what I mean? Like, no, you don't walk away. You put him in your place and you see what you can do. And then you have, poor oh gosh, it was so funny when he was doing the brokers open. He was like, "Oh, I should stop talking about this because no one's gonna wanna hire me then."
I thought I was thinking the same. I was kinda like, "Shut up." No one likes to do a
I
broker's
know.
open, they suck. We all
No,
know they
they're
suck.
terrible.
Um, I
Mhm.
mean, they are useful tools because it gets brokers in and if buyers come along, but, most of the time it is to prove that, yes, my listing's overpriced, and people will oftentimes be like, but the price," and then you can use that back.
Mhm.
Yes, but, all right, let's move on to Tracy. Poor Tracy.
One more note about Flag. His dog is very bad behaved.
He really is. Tracy was like, "No, don't bring my dog around your dog."
No. No, don't bring George into my house, get away, and then he does it anyway.
I know, he does. He does.
Yes, but poor Tracy. So, boyfriend, they've been living together for at least 3 years, have now broken up. He was only 28. Did we know how old Tracy is?
Well, she mentioned, like, him wanting children, and she's like, "I'm 50 something, and obviously I'm not going to have children." So I think she said 51. So big age gap there.
I thought she said, "Do I wanna be" Yeah, big, but I thought she said something like, "Do I wanna be 55 with a 3-year-old? No, I don't wanna do that." So I'm thinking that she's probably like Ginger's age, like
Yeah,
47 or older,
maybe
or whatever. Yeah.
somewhere around. Yeah, I feel sorry for her. Obviously, she knew coming into the relationship that at some point he was going to want something more. Obviously, kids, 28 years old is you're still having kids at that time. But it doesn't make it any less hard. Obviously, when you're with somebody for 3
No, not at all.
years, feelings are there and
And
I wrote down.
especially to have an OnlyFans girl
Oh,
be the
how
one to
trashy
DM
is
you.
that?
Oh,
So
I know. Not
trashy. I
good.
felt
Not good.
Yeah, I think I felt the worst about that is that he was really going on some
Mhm.
not great sites. So, ooh,
Yeah,
ooh.
some shady stuff. Yeah, and I did think it was funny when she said she should go on the Golden Bachelorette.
She would be a catch. Let me tell you, she is absolutely stunningly beautiful. Of course, she's successful, but
Mhm.
just I look at her and I'm just like, "Oh my god, she is so, so beautiful." I love how she's always, like, walking around, like, doing presses and stuff, like dumbbell presses. So, obviously, she takes
Ye
care of herself.
yeah, and I know. She's super fit. I mean, all of her clothes are like crop tops and she looks amazing. Like, I'm 44 and I don't have the guts to wear that. You know what I mean? Like, she looks amazing. And then her conversation with her daughter was very sweet. She's like, "How did you get so smart?" She's like, "I've been in therapy for years."
Yes, I really like her daughters. I think they're very impressive young ladies, and I think it goes to a testament of how good of a mom she is. I wrote that down. Um, One
Yeah,
other note
agreed.
I did write about her is she's gonna dig right back into her business and really do a dive because it's gonna be her distraction. And sure enough, by the mid episode, she's like, "What am I gonna do? Sit around in bed all day? Like I don't have time for that. I gotta go." And I thought, yep, that is
Exactly.
exactly what you do. And she's getting out there and getting on that horse and then to have that apartment pull their listing, I was like, "Oh god, that was a bad episode for Tracy."
Well, I mean, you could see that coming. I mean, they couldn't really afford to who wants to go in and lose all that money on the asset? But I did make a note of what she said, where she said that a defect in the property that you can't fix, it becomes about price. And that's 100% right. Like you can't fix everything. So then it becomes about price. So what's the right price for this defect that will make it such a deal that people can't resist it? Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. I wrote down that quote as well. Um,
Yeah.
and I've used it, I've obviously we all use that. It's a great tool. Price will overcome anything. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes, it will. Yep. And then I thought it was also funny how she was like, in a perfect world, I would show the place only at night and then pay those apartments to not have lights on. It's kind of secretly brilliant.
It's really funny. I know.
Yeah,
I actually really love her. Um, all right, should we
me
pop
too.
over to Altman?
Yeah, like I said last week, he's just on he's on another level right now. Like the whale of his buyer that he has, that's just insane. Um $48 million for that house. I mean, just crazy. And then now they're looking at that other development where it would be, what was it, 100 million to 150 million or something like that?
Mhm.
120, something
Mhm.
like that. Just
Mhm. You're right.
all new level. Just
You're right.
craziness.
Absolutely. He is on a whole nother level. I would love to know how I can weasel into a developer's life. Um, yes, I love that as a
Mhm,
business model for him. I mean, obviously, he's helping them purchase the initial home, that 25 million. There's a commission sale. Then when they flip it, you're looking at 150 million. And it seems like he has done this over and over. This developer has got his head on straight and he actually listens to him. Um,
mhm.
and I just thought to myself, he is a dream client. How do we all get one of
I
those?
I literally in my notes it says whale of a client and then I have a dash and it says I need one.
Me too.
Yeah, but, they were his stuff was all business this time, and it was all with that developer. I did think it was, interesting how they were talking about and they brought each one of them on for their analysis, if you will, about what were they calling the permits, like, ready to issue, I
R
think it was?
REIs?
RTI, ready to
Oh
issue.
yeah.
Is it RE?
There's some kind of acronym that I wasn't familiar with.
Yeah, me either, and they were saying, to go through all the, permits and all the stuff through the city, it could take 2 years. She said 12 months to 24 months to get all the stuff as you go to these, where the plans are already, submitted and ready to go, like, ready to use, then you can still change the plans, but it
Mhm.
just fast tracks you, and I was like, super smart.
All right. So our listing of the week this week, we have none other than P. Diddy, who is in a heap of trouble. If you haven't been following the news, then I don't know what's wrong with you because he's everywhere right now. In jail currently for human trafficking and sex trafficking. Not pretty.
All kinds of stuff. Yeah, not a good look, not a good look, and, no bond, so he will be chilling there for a minute. Rightfully so, if you ask me, but, we shall see.
Yes, and this is his Miami mansion, which we'll get into in just a second, but, this is his house that is
Gorgeous.
listed right now. It is, let's see, it's his Holmby Hill, LA mansion, and it's on the market for 61.5 million, listed by Kurt Rappaport of Westside Estate Agency. Only outdoor pictures listed. I even went on their website to see if there was any like indoor pictures. There was none, but just some outdoor photos here. Looks beautiful.
Did they have the photo, with the lube wall in the listing?
With the lube wall?
You haven't heard about the lube wall? There's he has a whole wall of like 1,000 different lubricants.
Ew, no, maybe that's why there's no indoor pictures. Oh my god, that's disgusting.
Yeah.
Oh
It's
god.
very disgusting and disturbing. But this house is beautiful from what we're seeing just from the outdoor spaces. It's amazing,
Yeah,
which
it is.
61 million, of course it is.
Yes, this Kurt Rappaport has, I guess, one of the neighbors down the road that is equally as stunning. So I guess this is a very high-end neighborhood, very probably very exclusive. The house itself is 10 bedrooms, 13 baths, 17,000 square feet, and sits on a 1.3 acre, which I feel like is
Wow.
quite a lot for LA. You know, watching the $1,000,000
Mhm.
listings, it seems that an acre is a pretty big lot.
Yeah, and hard to come by.
Yeah, hard to come by.
Wow.
Um, yeah,
Wow.
it's beautiful. It has a bar, a bonus room, a breakfast room, center hall, den, dining room, family room, gym, library, study, living room, master bedroom, an office. It has a pantry. Now that is something to comment on.
Oh, fancy. 17,000 square feet. It has a
It
pantry.
has a pantry, and maybe it's a spectacular pantry. It's hard to know.
I would who knows?
We
But
don't
I'm
know.
sure it will hold everything you need.
We don't
We
know
don't know.
because we don't have any indoor pictures, so we don't know. Um,
No, maybe that's where they keep the edible underwear. Who knows?
ew, gross. It has a service entrance, which does not surprise me if you're trying to sneak people in and out of your house, and a wine cellar.
Very true. Very nice. Well, keep it classy.
Yes.
It does not surprise me that Diddy is a mogul. I mean, he has, made it to the upper echelon of, even the 1%. So it does not surprise me that this home is of this caliber. I mean, he's going to be going down with with the other guys that thought they were too powerful to get caught. And it's what it sounds like might happen.
Yeah, absolutely, the Epsteins of the world. This is
Mm-hmm.
his Miami mansion, which he has offered up for bail. It is was valued at $48 million. He also um offered up his mama's home for the additional $2 million to get the $50 million bail. The judge said, now this time you'll sit in your ass in jail. Which I don't blame her. I mean, he owns private jets.
So,
I'm sure he has estates other places in the world, maybe some with no extradition. So I'd leave his ass sitting in jail too.
well, two things there. One, he was already in the very beginning of this caught with all his stuff trying to flee. That's what allegedly, we'll say allegedly. And two, can I go back to the fact that his house is 48 and his mama only has a $2 million house? Like, you couldn't get mama something a little bit nicer?
Yes, I also thought that. We do not have pictures of mama's house, but I thought to myself, poor mama only has a $2 million house. I mean, come on. I've got $2 million
Come
houses
on,
around me. They're nothing special.
too. Not really, no. And that was nice of him to just offer up his mom's house. That's really sweet of him.
I also thought, damn, that mama really loves him.
Yeah, right.
But this is a pretty house in here.
Oh yeah, it's beautiful.
Lots of very, very white, modern, very contemporary, modern look, very white, very, very pretty. Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
Very pretty, lots of natural light coming in. Very pretty.
Yeah, exactly. Um, you know, he's a billionaire and owns
Y
all he owned a lot of the world and now he going down, allegedly.
yeah, he's going down.
I don't
Allegedly, we think he's going down.
allegedly, I would agree.
But who are we? We're just little peons in the cog, you know? Who knows?
Absolutely. Sure are. And speaking of little peons, let's give our tip of the week. What do we have to say today?
Go ahead.
Oh, hello. Mine is let's grow some thick skin. It's hard being a realtor. Um, I thought I wrote that before Josh Flagg put that response in, but I thought perfect response. That is a perfect example of he has seen it all, heard it all. People are going to be nasty. The reason why I write this is I have a friend of mine who is getting her realtor license, and she reached out and said, what kind of advice can you give me? And that was the advice I gave her is, she is a sensitive
Don't do it.
person. Yeah, obviously.
Oh.
Just be a referral agent.
Get a 9 to 5 with the government? Yeah.
Oh, I should reach back out and be like, you're not cut out for this game. Just give me all your referrals. I'll pay you 25% on everything. Anyways.
Right. Problem solved.
Yeah, so that was my skin. She that was my skin. That was my tip. She
That was
she
your skin.
is very she is kind of a sensitive person, and I just straight up said, people are going to lie to you. They're going to yell at you. They're going to make you cry. They are going to push your boundaries so much further than you ever thought possible. So you had better thicken up.
Yeah, you really have to have thick skin. You have to be ready to be blamed for things that are not even your fault. That's not even in your control. And that's literally you have to let stuff roll. I mean, I've been doing this a little bit longer now than you, but I mean, there's still to this day where I just have to take a step back and go,
Mhm.
you're getting too emotionally involved in this. You just need to take a break, take a breath, don't respond, don't call them back, whatever it might
Right?
be, and just take a minute. And that's okay. That's okay.
Yep. Yep. So that's my tip. What do you got?
My tip is remember that we all started somewhere. So I'm working with this agent and he just is not very experienced. So I've been carrying the load and that's fine. And so I've been trying to, there's been times where I've had to take a step back from him. Like he's very nice, but he calls me like 24/7 and I'm like, "Dude, like this is a text message. Shoot me a quick text message. This is a new conversation. We don't have to have this conversation at all." Like it's just but he's just new. He doesn't know exactly what's going on. So I've been walking and holding his hand through it, but I just had to also remember that one, I've been successful and had training because I've been on teams and not everyone has that luxury, you know? So that's one thing. And then he just needs a minute. Like he just needs a little advice. And so if it's going to be me that's going to do it and to get the deal done, get it done. But just remember, everyone started somewhere. We don't all know everything. So just, I guess the moral of that is just be kind. So there's been a couple times where I'm just like, I'm not answering the phone right now, but
Right?
then I'll call
Yeah.
back or shoot a quick text message. Like, no, I just need a minute. Like we don't there's nothing to discuss right now. Like there's no updates, there's no nothing. So there's no reason to be chatting. So
It's so funny. I had a realtor call me, and like we were in a deal together, and I mean, it was like the same thing. Like I hung up the phone. I was like, "Thank you for that waste." There was no update. There was nothing.
right.
Like, what was the point? You had absolutely nothing
Right.
to
Like
add to the conversation. So why? Why?
no.
I was like, I
Why
just
are we talking right now?
exactly. I'm like, it
I have 1
literally,
billion phone calls a day.
yeah, no,
Yeah, I have
funny.
1 billion phone calls a day. Like, if you could see my call log, you'd be like, "Holy shit." Like, the last thing I need is someone just to, you know, call with a non-update update.
Hmm.
It's cool, like, we're good. When you have something, give me a call, otherwise, I'll wait.
Yeah, exactly. She's like, "Oh, yeah, I'm waiting to hear back." I'm like, "So you couldn't just call me once you knew?"
Yeah.
And
Like
then
I said, that's a text message.
for sure and, like, not even. Like, not even
No,
at that
no.
juncture, at the when she found out that was a text message like, "Hey, we're good to go for so and so. It's just a final walkthrough." I'm like, "It's a final walkthrough." Um,
Oh, we're good.
yeah, exactly. I'm like, "Well, let's move this shit to the closing table."
Right.
Yeah, so to and that was part of my other advice to her was really find a team that can train you, find a brokerage that can train you. Around here, there's a few big teams. Um, I'm not on them. I have been just very, very fortunate that I have a good support group around me. And
Yeah.
I have good friends who we were friends before we got into the real estate business who have been there much longer. And one in particular has helped me an incredible amount. So I've been very fortunate. And I don't know if maybe she was looking for something along those lines, but I was just like, I can't train you. I just can't.
Mm-mm.
It's
No.
too much
Mm-mm.
effort for me. Like you need to find a brokerage that can offer that. Because I don't want to take it on.
No, no, it's too much. And not to be an asshole about it because we all need training, but I mean, we don't get paid to train you. No offense. We don't get paid to train you. That's just me being,
Right.
the kindness of my heart. And I just I'm too busy to be that kind.
Yeah. I mean, maybe if you want to co-list, I'll help train. Give me 50%. I'll train.
I don't know. Yeah, if it's her people and she needs help, yeah, yeah, that might be an option. But yeah, no, you're not just jumping on my listing. That's not an
Oh,
option.
no, 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 no. If she gets a listing,
Yeah,
I'll jump
per
on
person. Yeah, yeah.
hers for 50%.
Well, yeah.
I'm such an
We really
asshole.
are lovely people.
You know, it is a dog eat dog world. And sometimes the worst people are the other realtors.
Yeah, it's exactly right.
All right. I'm not setting the best example.
Agreed, agreed. That's all right.
Yeah.
That's all right.
All
If
right.
you're an agent, you understand. If you're not an agent, you're probably just like, "Wow."
She's a real bitch.
What else? We gotta do what we gotta do.
It's a business. I'm not here to be
Alright.
your friend.
It's a business.
All right.
That's exactly
Speaking of
right.
business, let's wrap up this business of this podcast. And you can catch us
Yep.
on all major streaming platforms, including YouTube. Be sure to like and subscribe us on our social medias as well. And feel free to write us any stories, comments, or comment that I'm just a bitch and real sisters real estate at gmail.com. All righty.
First, 2 things, don't open that can of worms because people on YouTube are mean, and second off, you forgot to mention at the very beginning, our brokerages do not endorse anything that we say, so
I don't know why. We have such great conversations about P. Diddy and lube walls.
right. I really don't get the problem here.
You don't like what I have to say? All righty.
I
Well,
don't.
we will catch you
Alright.
next week.
Alright, bye.
Bye.